Because then it's a battle of taste. We've talked about this. Because then it's a battle of taste. If they had gave Heidi and Claudette, they could have gave her $8,000. You know what
Not
I'm saying?
Claudette.
Okay. They could
I
have
feel
gave
what you're
Heidi and
saying, though.
Claudette.
Absolutely.
They could have gave Heidi and Claudette $8,000 and the phone number to one designer, and she could have came with looks that would have just, you know what I'm saying? So Heidi might have been in the finale then. Because in my opinion, Heidi gave a finale performance. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the 14th week of Drag from the Left, your weekly digital series where we review RuPaul's Drag Race from a radical leftist perspective. Once again, this is a pro-Black podcast. This is a Black Trans Lives Matter podcast. This is a Fuck the Police podcast. This is a Pay Me podcast. And we get down with the get down. I am your hostess with the mostest, the very Reverend Dr. Juanita Bind'Em.
And this is Avery, my drag name, and this week is Mary. I was worried about my imitation, but I think I did it good.
Oh God, I can deliver the babies.
Hold on, let me pop my
let's get into the gag. To quote Monet Exchange, with cue theme music.
We need some intro music. Yet. Yeah, we need some intro music.
Look, if y'all want us to have some intro music, y'all need to go onto our Anchor and press the donate tab and give us some coinage so that we can have.
So we can pay for it.
So that we can pay for it. Okay, we gotta pay for it. Let's get into the episode. We are back for another week of RuPaul's Drag Race. We are getting down. I mean, the nitty gritty has arrived. We have been in the nitty gritty of it all. And after what seems like a fourth night of Drag Race, we are down to just less than a handful of episodes. Last week, Utica Queen was sent home in a lip sync for your life against, who was that lip sync against? Simone. Yeah, because Simone is shook to the core.
Is she? It's right all over her face. She don't have to say a word. Get that reference.
Okay.
I ain't even pre-playing that one. That came off top.
Simone is shooketh to the core. She gonna tell RuPaul, not again. Well, I mean, and I'm always down for the line, not again. But girl, it's 2 weeks left. So not again. How much? I mean, clearly, it's like at this point.
But when she said not again, the conviction in her voice and in her face, I believed it.
She should have said not again after the lip sync with Candy, because then maybe this wouldn't have happened. Okay?
Maybe. But you know how our fave gets. She gets in her head, and she literally blocks her own blessings. Like, she gets to spiraling, and
talk about it, minister.
I'm more for my girl.
This is the thing. I am full-blown Tyra Banks and Tiffany right now. I am rooting for you. We are all rooting for you. But I don't want to project this type of pressure on Simone because Simone is already feeling it herself, and we're going to get into that in a little bit. So, again, Utica Queen has been sent home. Bye-bye, Utica Queen. And as Simone says, that's my weird girl, sister, strange, on her own planet, boo. Bye. Ain't no lie, baby. Bye. So we are down to the top 5. And as we all know, in the canon of RuPaul's Drag Race, that top 4 spot is very, very important. You never know if RuPaul goes send 4 to the finale or 3 to the finale, but we know that once you are at 4, that the end is nigh. Okay. The tempest is raging. Okay. And it is okay. So they announced an acting challenge, which is interesting to me because the last 2 seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race, season 12 and season 11, the top 5 actually performed the Ru mix. And then from that top 5, we went to a top 4. So this is yet again another way for them to just stretch this shit all the way the fuck out.
And stress us all out in the process.
And stress me all the way the fuck out in the process. But again, we are here and everybody is just trying to really seem like everybody's trying to get prepared for the week that's to come because they know that they really got to serve it this week. This week in the workroom, there is no mini challenge. I'm a fan of mini challenges. So I always like when there's a mini challenge. It gives me like a little bit of time to watch Drag Race without having to feel like I have to hyper focus on watching it. I can get some little popcorn real quick, one in the bathroom, get a little kiki haha in there. But they getting straight into it, okay? Because this week they are doing a full-blown acting challenge, and not a little one. This is a heavy haul.
This is a
performance
long
at the end
one.
ends up being a very long acting piece. So the piece this week was entitled "Honey, I Shrunk the Drag Queen." Isn't that? I think that's what it was called. And yeah, Honey, I Shrunk the Drag Queens is the name of the acting challenge that they're doing. And each one of the girls is assigned to play a character that might be familiar to them. With that being said, the characters are modeled after them. So the characters' names are Ginger Ale, Chardonnay, Dominique Perignon, Brandy, and Margarita. So of course, per usual, the girls have to figure out who is playing who.
Right.
So everybody picked their characters, and everybody seemed to like who they picking, who like who they playing or whatever. But Simone and Candy end up wanting to both be Dominique Perignon. How do you feel about this little bit of like showdown moment between who get to play who?
I think Simone has the right idea by picking a character not based off of her.
Yep.
She wanted to show something different. She wanted to be the standout. Of course, she was being strategic. She didn't want to be in the bottom again. So she wanted a role that she knew she can excel in, and that was the focal point of the entire scene. But she ended up being a team player because she knew she could do both, and gave it over to Candy. I think Candy would have. I think they actually all would have benefited from picking a character that wasn't based off of them. I think that was low-key the point of the challenge, was to show some versatility, to switch it up. And they all kind of fell into, regardless of, notwithstanding Simone, they all fell into the trap of safe, wanting to play it safe, which I thought was kind of weak and lazy. But, they all scared. Nobody wants to go home right before the finale. So from that side,
they was all being so big, scary, and I was kind of over it because, like, we're at the point in the competition where either you showing up and showing out, or you are packing your bags and going home. Also, as an audience, we have been watching this show for so fucking long that I am waiting for these little juicy little tidbits of something different. Like Drag Race at this point, and this is why Drag Race is so long. This is why they're doing all of these things. At this point, there's been 13 seasons of this show domestically on the main stage. And then we have 15 seasons of All-Stars. So that's 5 seasons of All-Stars, which gives us 18 seasons of this show. If we throw in the Holiday special, if we throw in the Celebrity Drag Race, now we're at 20 domestic seasons of RuPaul's Drag Race. The format is well known. Reddit is big. We know the whole show before it comes out. So these little moments inside are the moments that I am an audience member as an actual fan of RuPaul's Drag Race. These are the moments that I'm looking for. I wanted them to be like Rosé should have picked the person who was the furthest from Rosé that they could have. Yeah. And then to me, that really flexes your acting chops. I think this is a group of girls who could do an acting challenge to the level that they used to do back in the day. Like, for example, back in season, even though season 7 of RuPaul's Drag Race has been said to be one of the worst seasons of Drag Race ever. It has one of the seasons of some of the strongest queens, right? You have Ginger Minj on that season. You have, like, there's just queens on that season that people still know and are still working, right? When Ginger Minj was like, eggs, all I want is eggs. Like, that was a moment, though. It was hilarious. And I think these actors could really do these, make these kind of choices. Give me, like, all I wanted for Christmas was my cha-cha heels. Like, these type of, like, iconic acting scenes. And with that being said, with a little bit of a different rhythm, but in the same vein, Simone should have just been like, Candy, I don't give a fuck what your big barking ass is saying. This is my role and you can eat it.
Yes, but we have seen Simone over the past 12, 13 weeks. She's not that kind of, at least that's not the side of her that she is presenting to the audience, the viewing audience. She's a very congenial queen, right?
Right, and to me, that would be her demise. But that's going to be her demise. Are you coming to be Miss Congeniality, or are you coming to be the crowned queen of season 13 of RuPaul's Drag Race, Simone? Which one is it? Because we all see you. America sees you as the winner of RuPaul's Drag Race. So you need to see yourself as such. And I do think that she believes that to be true, but there's these little blocks of her being her own type of barricade, her own enemy, which is, of course, a narrative that is not original in any way. But you know what I'm saying? That we're seeing played out. If she already knew in her mind how she was going to act as Dominique. She knew the physical. You could see it. She knew exactly what she was going to do with this role. Candy was figuring it out. I would have been like, and this is the thing, I wouldn't have just given it up. We would have had the rock, paper. I don't care if it was rock, paper, scissors, the girls voted. There would have had to been some. I would have had to lose. You know what I'm saying? There would have had to have been some effort. And I just know for me that if I was to ever be on Drag Race, Dragula, RuPaul spinoff of any sort, I will be damned if anybody takes a role that I want. Because what's going to happen is, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be the one like, well, y'all have to call in the producers, because that's what it's going to be. Okay, y'all got to call in the producers, because that's what it's gonna be. Let me tell you right now, they could tell me that my role is ginger ale, and when we get to the stage, I'm gonna be saying the lines for Dominique Perignon.
But I told y'all, figure it out.
And then I'm gonna be like, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know those lines. Matter of fact, let's just rewrite it. Dominique Perignon is now a twin, and we're like the Doublemint twins, and we both do the same thing. Because I'm just not doing that. What Valentina said? What they gonna do? Go on stage without me? They not. They not. Because as much as they wanted to do that storyline, how Kimora was so late to the runway, she made it to the runway, didn't she? We saw both her looks, didn't we? Did we not?
Yep.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. You gotta know your power. And I know
that's also true.
Okay.
Come on now.
I know that I am called and chosen according to God's purpose. Okay. And God told me that I was a winner. Okay.
All right.
I'm the head and not the tail, the lender and not the borrower, above and not beneath, the alpha and not the omega. Okay. Okay.
I love that. Simone, you listening, girl?
Oh, thank you for clapping your hands. Yes, we clap our hands in the sanctuary. You know what though? I really miss singing gospel music. I'm gonna have to do, well, you know, at the end of the year, I'm working on something, and I'm gonna have to talk to you, because of course we're gonna make it a drag from the left thing, because that's just what it's gonna have to be. But I'm gonna do a cabaret at the end of the year, because I want to sing. I want to do like a whole concert of like the Great American Songbook and do my own like rendition of it. And I want to do the first half in drag as Juanita. Like I'm talking about ball gown and everything. And then I'm gonna do the second half as Alex in like a cute little tuxedo or whatever. And we're gonna have an MC, and we're gonna have like hors d'oeuvres and appetizers. And my friend lives in this really cute mansion, and they said I could have it at their house. So we're gonna it's gonna be this whole thing. So I'm already looking to what it's called. We'll plan. But okay, if you're a fan of this show, you know that we get on our little tangents, calm down. We only 18 minutes.
We always bring it back.
You know y'all always bring it back for a little minute. So grab your blunt, grab your wine, do what you got to do. We go carry on. Okay, and today is the Lord's Day. This is a day that the Lord has made, and I will rejoice and be glad in it. So you're going to listen to me talk.
All right. It's our show. We can do what we want to do.
So they have selected the girls' roles for the show, and they have, Simone said, okay, you can have the role, Candy. But this is why I'm so annoyed with it. Simone, if you were okay with it, don't give me in confessionals, don't give me the side eye looks in the room. Then make a choice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you know that they were prompting her to do all that extra stuff. But like, I'm with you. I really wanted her to fight for it, because she knows she would have won this challenge if she was Dominique. We know she would have won this challenge.
Could you imagine if Simone had 5 wins on RuPaul's Drag Race?
Man.
Like, the girls, pack up your bags and go home. Like, where's your Spirit flight ticket? Like, come on.
Not Spirit.
You know they sending them girls on Spirit. You know they are.
I would surely hope not. As much money as Drag Race got, they better not be sending girls on Spirit or Frontier.
They got all that money, but they ain't did no mutual aid fund. So, I mean.
Come on. Listen to episode 1.
So,
talk about it,
okay, they got all this money, but they still complaining that the girls arrive and they looks not up to par. Ooh. Why not front the girl some money to get some looks? You know what I'm saying?
Hello.
Because then it's a battle of taste. We've talked about this. Because then it's a battle of taste. If they had gave Heidi N Closet, they could have gave her $8,000. You know what
Not
I'm saying?
Closet.
Okay. They could have gave Heidi N Closet.
Absolutely.
They could have gave Heidi N Closet $8,000 and the phone number to one designer, and she could have came with looks that would have just, you know what I'm saying? So Heidi might have been in the finale then. Because in my opinion, Heidi gave a finale performance in RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she just didn't have the looks.
Finale looks. She didn't have finale looks. You know? Yeah. So that is really where they're at with it. That's really where they're at with it. So they done selected the roles, everybody doing the roles that they're doing. And of course, like this season, this whole theme this season, we got these video Zoom guests in the workroom. And episode 14 of RuPaul's Drag Race is following the theme of having highly problematic guest judges and guests on the show. So we start off with
we get two this episode.
So we start off with Scarlett Johansson. Yeah,
whose
and, we already have to talk.
Whose decision was this? Who was in the room and said, you know who we need to bring? Scarlett Johansson. That's the girl we need. On 2 episodes ago, you had Anne Hathaway. The Anne Hathaway. Legend in the making. And the person after that, you bring in Scarlett Johansson.
Could you at least bring somebody who's not an overt racist?
At the very least.
Can you at least get someone who doesn't perform in blackface, in yellowface, in redface, in every face but her own?
And then for our guest judge, not to get ahead of ourselves, but you know how I do, we have someone who is pretty overtly
hates black people,
anti-Black American, and Black Americans specifically, all the while playing roles of legendary Black Americans.
And trying her very best to get Academy Awards for it.
Trying her damnedest. And she did get nominated for Harriet, which I still refuse to watch.
I'm not watching
but we also know the
and you got
behind she got nominated for it.
Also, she won the Tony in 2016 for Best Lead Actor in a Musical in the revival of The Color Purple playing Celie, which is an American novel about an American ass fucking Black woman.
A legendary Black American woman role. So you got Celie from The Color Purple, Harriet Tubman, one of the most famous abolitionists in the world.
Ever, period.
Aretha Franklin. Now, Cynthia Erivo, you have a beautiful voice. Her voice is heavenly. Aretha Franklin.
She don't got Aretha voice. And she too little. First off, she too little, and she ain't American enough. Yeah. And I said it. And everybody who got an issue with me talking about Black actors taking these American roles, y'all need to do a little more research of the politics involved in that. Okay, you need to go and do your little research and type your little button on your computer. And guess what? And if the least you can do, if you're going to be non-American and then come and play these iconic Black American roles, the least you can do is not be an anti-Black bullshit bigot. That's the least you can do.
The very least. Speaking of Daniel, what's his last name from Get Out? The fine one?
Yeah, him. I don't remember his last name.
Me either, but he is gorgeous. And that's not the point, though. He just played Fred Hampton in Judas and the Black Messiah. And did well. I would be the first to say that he did really well. But then just recently went on SNL and partook in a very anti-Black skit about vaccines and whatnot. So you play this Black revolutionary, one of the most influential, I think, especially if you are left like we are. One of the most influential ones. One of the ones who literally put their blood, sweat, and tears into the movement, into the progression for Black liberation. And you get on one of the biggest stages in nighttime comedy and partake in anti-Blackness. Have you learned nothing from your very pivotal roles as playing Black Americans? One that was fictional in Get Out, and one that was based on a real ass revolutionary. Like, not one of these fake celebrity activists that we got now. A real revolutionary like Fred Hampton. And here you are displaying all this anti-Blackness on SNL for a white audience. you might as well have some big lips on and a red nose because you look foolish. But anyway, back to
But why? You know, we could do a whole episode about that. But like, why would they not? Of course, when you see there is strategy to who they pick and who they allow to move up, to play these roles, to do these things, to make these choices. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, we're not seeing these actors being blackballed like they was in the day. They, you know, Eartha Kitt, the actors like that. The presidents was coming for them and telling them they had to get up. These actors had to leave the country. These performers
because they stood for something.
We're not seeing that type of shit. We're not seeing that.
No, you offer them a bag and it's, I'll do whatever you want, master.
These is the most, and people hate the word coon, but these the most jigabooing, cooning ass, tap dancing, Daffy Duck tap dancing niggas I have ever seen in my life. Okay,
and it's not just the actors. Tamika Mowry, you in this group too. Sean King, you right there on it. All y'all in Cadillac commercials and shit talking about U40 advancement and the liberation of black people. If you don't get your capitalist-driven,
I'm like,
hungry,
have you applied a profit model to the death of black people? Is this is what you've done?
Like you've never heard of racial capitalism before, but you're sitting up here trying to preach something.
I'm sorry, I'm talking all the way over you, boo. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm just rambling at this point because I'm annoyed. I forgot we was on the damn show.
But then you want to go and do the thing of saying like we should be compensated for the work that we do. No one's saying that you shouldn't be, but you shouldn't be riding around in 2022 and 2021 cars off of that shit.
After you was criticized. The timing couldn't have been worse, girl.
But they don't care. They don't care.
Y'all can kiss my ass.
And the funny thing, the people that's running to her rescue are also more problematic people. Like Martin Luther Beige, like you have nothing to say.
Talcum X, if you don't get off my line.
If you don't go somewhere, you ain't black. Go.
At all. Get on.
Her, him, and Rachel Adola-Vidozo and all of them, they just need to go onto a little island and they just need to stay there and get out the fucking way. Get out of the way.
You know that Republican that just said to put all gay people on the island and it will be gone in 40 years. No, put them niggas on the island.
Put them on the island. And you know what? They kill me threatening me with a vacation. They kill me threatening me with a motherfucking vacation.
The best thing you can do for us is to get us away from you.
Please send me to the island. Please just make a territory I am into it. I'm into it. The whole
black queer commune, that'd be dope.
I am
commune, not commune.
You know, there's this, I forget, it's this organization, I think it's called like New Africa or something, where they want to like get 6 or 8 states and secede from the union and make them like black sovereign land or some shit like that. I don't even know if this is an organization that's not full of people that's like Tamika Mallory, but like the basic idea of it sounds cute to me. You know,
right?
I'm in no way endorsing this organization. I don't know enough details about it. I'm just talking about giving me a little piece. And so me and my peeps can, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
We could go to the studio and drop some beats.
But some drip. Right, kid, you look around Puerto Rico so you can drop some beats.
If y'all do not watch House
Lord
of Atlanta,
have mercy.
Y'all need to watch House of Atlanta to understand a lot of these little things we be doing, okay?
Yes, all these references, because we reference Housewives literally every week.
Every episode. Every single episode.
All right. Let's get into take a break, and then we'll get into the Maxi Challenge after.
Exactly. We'll be back in 2 minutes.